It is Wednesday, June 11th, and it's day 143 of the Trump presidency. And I don't know about you, but I am tired. Let's talk about the headlines from the last couple of days. Just now, a judge ruled that Mahmoud Khalil cannot be deported or detained based on the foreign policy of the Trump administration. So the ruling does give the Trump administration some time to appeal. I think there's, 48 hours or 72 hours left or something before it goes into effect. I'm sure that they will. He is still being held in Louisiana, and just in case you forgot, because trying to keep up with this stuff is insane, Mahmoud Khalil is a pro-Palestinian protester who organized protests and things like that at Columbia University. So anyways, the truth about this administration is that they are losing the vast majority of the lawsuits. I mean, over 90%. Again, the problem has always been, in the face of that, then what, right? They did bring back Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and that's a big deal. They are trying to pin him with human trafficking, also a big deal. Again, it's this back and forth motion between the law and the Trump administration. But as you can see, things have really escalated. Snacks is sitting on my notes right now. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Snacks, you gotta move. I can't see. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. Every night for the last few nights because of the protests, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Anyways, there's also huge things that are happening internationally. So the U.S. is planning to partially evacuate the United States Embassy in Iraq right now. They're not being super forthcoming about exactly what's going on, but they're claiming that there's a threat. They also apparently have canceled the talks that they were supposed to have with Iran over, the nuclear status of Iran. They had some planned, I think, in the next several days, and they've been canceled. So no one really has come out and said exactly what this means. I'm guessing it's not anything good, Again, sometimes it just seems like there's so many things wrong right now. I don't know which one's going to be the one that finally explodes in our face. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot. There's a lot going on. In any case, it sounds like only the employees at the embassy that are absolutely essential are staying, and everyone else is being evacuated. Okay. National Guard troops are detaining citizens in Los Angeles. I don't know how much you guys are keeping up with it. It is hard. It's hard to watch. Not just what's happening to protesters. I mean, horrible things are happening to protesters. People have been hospitalized with really serious injuries. One guy had to have surgery. I don't know if I should tell you what happened to him. Maybe I will. All right, I'll just tell you. He got shot in his testicle with a rubber bullet. So here's the thing. There are multiple videos of National Guard. I don't even know. It might be LAPD too. I don't know who's doing the shooting all the time. But they're literally aiming directly they've shot people in the head with those rubber bullets. And also there's something called a flashbang that you're supposed to point upwards and shoot it into the sky. One got embedded in someone's fucking leg, and I'm pretty sure it was a reporter. There is a video circulating everywhere of them literally aiming, pointing, and shooting an Australian reporter, a woman. They're shooting just random civilians. There's another video that I saw of a girl who was trying to get to her house. They had a street blocked off. She was just trying to walk down the street to her house, and they shot her. She's just a girl by herself. It's bananas what's happening. It's not good. And, a lot of people are calling out that it looks like the National Guard and the Trump administration is trying to escalate this. There's also videos circulating of police officers damaging, or maybe it's the National Guard. I don't know who's doing it again. It's hard to tell because a lot of these people are, like, ICE is not necessarily wearing, they don't have, like, a standard issued uniform. But anyways, someone, not civilians, is damaging police cars and other property, supposedly, I would think, to make it look like civilians are doing it. But it's been captured on video of them doing it. Not good. Initially, it was just a few hundred troops. It's hard to keep up with what's happening, but it sounds like it's escalating, and Trump has now called for 4,000 to enter the city. Gavin Newsom has already filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration because this is illegal. It's super complicated, but basically, unless he invokes the is it the Alien Enemies Act, or is it something else? No. He has to invoke the Insurrection Act. I feel like there's another name for it, and I can't think of what it is. Anyways, he has to invoke a certain law in order to deploy troops like this. Basically, he has to declare martial law. And they use some sort of, like, loophole, but it's not legal. And so people think that Gavin Newsom probably will win that lawsuit. However, in the meantime, things are getting worse, it's getting worse. And we're coming up on the weekend where there's a lot of protests planned. So Gavin Newsom has made a lot of public statements calling Trump a dictator, saying that he's instigating violence on purpose, calling on Americans to stand up against this. And it's pretty intense. I do feel that it makes a lot of sense that the Trump administration is attacking California in this way. He obviously has a lot of anger towards California. He doesn't have a lot of support in California. I mean, it's interesting for him to be doing this simultaneously because California pays a lot of our nation's bills and has a lot of power, frankly. Again, we'll see what happens next, but it is not looking very good so far, and I'm feeling pretty nervous about it. So RFK fired the entire vaccine recommendation board, like the staff of the entire vaccine recommendation board, and now the CDC staff and a bunch of other employees of the CDC and other health agencies are all outside protesting him and calling for his resignation. I mean, we're not in good hands. We're not in good hands. We are being run by an incredibly incompetent group of people that have no qualifications, that barely know how to read, and it's dire straits out here, kids. And I do think that these protests are making a difference. It is destabilizing. And someone on TikTok did make a very good point to me today. They said that the actions that Trump is taking are not the actions of someone who feels stable in their power and feels like things are under control. This escalation that he's pulling with California, first of all, is for sure, very clearly meant to distract from what just happened with Elon Musk and Elon Musk drawing attention to the Epstein files and Trump being in the Epstein files. 100%. It's a scare tactic meant to change the subject. But also, it does show that he's totally out of control. He's doing a bunch of really illegal shit. And he's pushing it all the way to the edge here. So, it's bound to, it's bound to escalate and possibly collapse. And I just don't know what that means yet. I don't know what that means. I don't know what this collapse really looks like. Obviously, there are some states that are very much in Trump's pocket, right? So Greg Abbott is sending his own National Guard troops to all the cities that are planning protests coming up. There's a bunch of immigration protests. There's the No Kings protest this Saturday, and that's nationwide. And there's already people protesting in the streets in New York. There's people protesting in Chicago, obviously LA, Oh, I'm skipping some cities. There's protests happening in a lot of areas right now. And, you know, there's people being arrested. There was how many arrests in Chicago? 13? Yes. I believe it's 13 arrests in Chicago. So, yeah, people are upset and people are scared and horrible, horrible, horrible things are happening. Kids are getting arrested and detained without their parents at, like, there's a 9-year-old that they have detained right now. I can't handle it, man. I'm waking up having nightmares. Anytime you start involving kids, like, you know, I can't emotionally withstand that. It's really disgusting. It's really disgusting. The damage that they're doing is horrifying. And again, there are more and more people that used to consider themselves MAGA that are saying, hey, wait a minute. Nope, you guys promised us that you were getting rid of criminals, but now you're destroying families. And I am very happy to see that for some of them, a line is being drawn and they're walking away. And that, it matters. I'm not saying I love those people that I want to go get coffee with them, but I am saying it matters and we need everyone on our side that we can possibly get on our side right now to get through this. So the United States and China had trade talks again and made almost no progress. So basically, long story short, experts are saying that the U.S. is at a severe disadvantage because we literally can't function without the minerals that China has, okay? And China had placed a ban on these minerals into the United States because those are the minerals that they use to create computer chips that go into cars and cell phones and like every single thing we do now. And China owns, I think, 70% of the store of that mineral. And so, long story short, they had banned the sale of those minerals to the United States, and Trump basically begged them, and they lifted the ban. They lifted the blockade. But what economists and other experts are saying is that they could, anytime they feel like it, they could just slap the ban back on. There was no movement in the actual percentage of tariffs so far. Like, basically, they came out of that and said, yeah, tariffs are staying high in both directions. They're trying to stop punching each other, essentially. But they have not made any real progress. And we are in between a rock and a hard place because, again, the effects on the economy are starting to be kind of serious. And I don't know how he's going to get them back or if he's going to be able to. Okay. And the last thing that I want to cover is a little bit of a rumor, but sometimes we like to end with a rumor, don't we? So Trump was missing for about 5 days, about a week ago. He had no public appearances for 5 days. And the rumor mill started to be circulating pretty heavily about what that was about. Now, there is a photograph of Trump at like a wrestling event, which really, I was like, this looks heavily AI altered, to be honest with you, because like he looked too good. Like he looked thin and his face looked better than usual. But the point of the photo that everyone was pointing to is his pants. There's something sticking through his pants. And everyone who is a nurse or a medical professional says it's the outline of a Foley catheter. You can just Google it. Go look it up. Take a look. See what you think. I mean, he's an old man, dude. Again, I don't think it's really so much of a conspiracy to say that an older man who doesn't exercise or eat well might start having some health problems. Like, that's just kind of like how the cookie crumbles. It's hard enough if you're working your ass off to take care of yourself, not to have problems. I tell you what, like, especially with the stress. So again, this isn't meant to be a compliment towards Trump, but the amount of stress he has to be under with all the crap that's going on, I can't even imagine it. All right, one more thing is that Elon Musk did come out and say he regrets some of the things he said about Trump, which is interesting for a number of reasons, and I could go a few different ways with this. For one thing, he obviously has severe problems with drug abuse, and that frequently creates situations where you're out of control and you don't know what you're doing, obviously. So that is one potential explanation for all of that whole entire thing, is that he was just hammered when he said all of that. But the other explanation for him apologizing is whatever's been said to him in the background since then. Whatever kind of threats have been lobbed his way, which I'm sure there have been many. So I don't know. We'll see, is what I have to say about that. We'll see. More to come. All right, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I'm going to go eat. This is the last week of school for my daughter, so it's been really busy. I got to get out and take Figment for another walk. It was his birthday on Tuesday, and we celebrated, and he ate a little bit of cake. I hope you guys are doing all right, man. This, things are not going to get less stressful anytime soon on the world stage or in the United States. I think it's going to get a little crazier before it starts to settle out, to say the least. All right. Have a good night. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.